Awaken and be bold. The lotus flower begins its growth at the bottom of the fish pond as a small bud attached to a vine. Progressively, the vine ascends in the direction of the surface of the water, while strangely the bud from the lotus flower faces downward as the vine grows in the direction of the sun rays. However, when the bud gets closer top, it ultimately turns upward where it is met with sunshine. Once the vine continues to grow of sufficient length for the bud to become clear of the water, it blooms into a stunning flower. The symbolism behind the lotus flower is directly related to how the lotus flower begins its life and continues to grow. Imagine a body of still water in the depths of a tropical forest. When you think of the bottom of the pond, it becomes difficult to imagine anything pleasant. Perhaps the first term you would associate with that type of water is pond scum. Yet, it is where the beautiful and the majestic lotus flower begins to grow. As in life, your surroundings and your environments can affect your outcome. You may not feel worthy of abundance, success, and happiness. You may be feeling totally underwater and know deep down that there is something better in life for you. And maybe you have a message or a product that can impact people and the world. Maybe you have sought after ways that you thought would change your life through a seminar, a book, or an audio program, but all you found was a temporary fix, and you were stuck again, never making the impact in your career or life that you so badly desired to see. It's not your fault. It's always been there. It's inside of you. The game of life is programmed deep within. You have everything you need for wealth, happiness, abundance, and success. Everything is an inside job. It is within you to blossom, just like the lotus flower submerged below the surface and then progressively makes its way to the sunshine so it can blossom into a beautiful flower. This 5-step formula to create authority in your niche is a no-nonsense methodology to claiming your authority that goes way beyond what you have ever experienced. And it is the last advice you will ever need to get you on the right track to prosperity. Claim your authority and create a meaningful life of abundance. We will bring you from the depths of the waters and pond scum to a beautiful blossom flower. You are living in one of the most exciting times for entrepreneurs and professionals to take advantage of the huge opportunities available to establish instant credibility and trust. Step 1, the authority mindset. If someone would ask you how you see yourself a year from now, what would you say? Do you imagine yourself trudging towards better goals and dreams, or do you see your life pretty much the same as it is today? Having a winning mindset is important if you want to see positive changes in your life. A good outlook helps individuals accept and embrace challenges because in the end, they believe that they can champion these obstacles. It is natural for human beings to believe that they can change into a better version of themselves because each person is talented. People develop skills over time and they use these skills to mold themselves into a better person, while developing new abilities is innate in every person. Not everyone believes that they can achieve an optimistic change within a year or more. Developing a success mindset is good for any individual who wants to make a fresh start and achieve their goals. It's not enough that you just list down your goals, thinking that the law of attraction will instantly take effect and help you. You have to act and work hard in order to achieve those goals and turn your dreams into realities. You have to believe that what you visualize for your future will all come into fruition. And more importantly, you have to believe in yourself. A lot of accomplished people, from world leaders and politicians to authors and entertainers, have developed winning mindsets long before they achieved their status. Successful people know what they want and are always attuned to their inner thoughts. You see, our thoughts dictate our emotions, thinking, and actions. When these thoughts are trained and channeled, it is easier to control and navigate your activities so they can work in your favor. Developing routines that prepare you mentally before taking action is another key to success. Start with baby steps that will help you prove your ability to produce and allow your confidence to grow with each step. By nurturing self-reliance, you'll be able to add more goals to your to-do list and have the drive to attain them little by little. Feed a positive mindset by dreaming even bigger dreams and possibilities, and embrace the new mindsets that you are creating along the way. Visualize your ideal life. Let me start by saying that if you have not done it before, I'm going to ask you to start visualizing your ideal life. We are going to take it down the road about 5 to 10 years into the future. Where do you really want to be in 5 to 10 years? It seems at this moment like a long way away, but if you go back 10 years in your mind, you can see just how quickly time has passed. Did you accomplish everything in the past 10 years that you said you wanted to achieve? Or do you think you left a lot of stuff out because you didn't plan effectively? Or you didn't make your goals a priority? Or maybe you didn't even set goals at all? You will quickly see, especially as you get older in your life, that 10 years can fly by and you can miss the boat on a whole bunch of opportunities if you don't correctly plan for them. Let's start by thinking about where you want to be 10 years from now, and then move forward. As a young boy, I had an active imagination. My mother always told me I was special and to use my imagination. I was an only child and often imagined having a virtual friend. Using my imagination, I would be seeing in my mind's eye myself owning a business and traveling the world fearlessly. We often get caught up in growing up and we forget our childlike imagination. Be bold and dream again. That is where the magic lives and begins. Remember, life begins outside your comfort zone. Step 2, motivation and inspiration. Motivation is the most basic sense. It's the desire to do things. Motivation is the force that drives people to act and behave a certain way. When people say that they want to lose a few pounds, they look for an object or inspiration that will motivate them to persevere. Every person who has achieved a specific goal was urged by an object of motivation. When setting a list of goals that you want to accomplish, it's best if you can identify a motivation for each. You need to determine what will push you to take action and what will trigger your energy. You can always go back to where motivations when you are feeling down or when challenges appear. For example, a father who persists in his job will work hard to earn more. In this scenario, his family could be considered his motivation. His family serves as the driving force that guides him to do better in his career because his family depends on him. There are people who set goals for themselves but never really get anything accomplished because they are stuck in their dreams. They blame life for keeping them in the same place for many years, and they lose the faith on how things can change for the better. The problem with these scenarios is the lack of action, perseverance, and motivation. Attaining a goal requires a huge deal of effort and commitment because good things don't just knock on your door. You have to earn it. You have to keep yourself motivated in order to see better results and gradually turn your dreams into realities. Motivation can be a person, an object, a place, or even an event. Even a mistake can be a huge motivation because it pushes you to correct the things that you've done wrong and helps you avoid failure. Now, failure is not all bad. Failure can be a motivation as well. Look at bad experiences as an outcome that will help you learn and progress. Most people who had a rough start in life are usually the ones who come out stronger because they're motivated by the trials and experiences they have gone through. Think about how you could have done it differently and adapt your new routine so you will not make the same mistake twice. Fear should not incapacitate us. One way to be motivated is to remind yourself that you are in charge of your goals and of your future. You should not allow one discouraging experience to continuously beat you down. Fear and even self-doubt can get in the way of achieving your goals, especially when you are constantly weighed down. Channel these fears into your life and use them as a key indicator that will keep you on target to hit your current goals. Visualizing what you want is a good habit to develop and to keep you inspired. It's good to think of wild dreams that will feed your hunger even more, but don't pile these on your list with several goals at once. A cluttered list of different goals can be very intimidating and exhausting to your thoughts. Focus on what you want to achieve first and work from there. Prioritize the goals that are most valuable to you, and achieving one at a time is better than achieving none at all. Envision how you see yourself in 5 or 10 years by posting pictures and reminders on your walls or by jotting it down in your journal. If you do not have one, I encourage you to get one. It is also great if you can read or research success stories to keep you driven. Success stories are empowering and can easily inflict changes on a person who wants to experience the same results or live a similar lifestyle. Do not deprive yourself of rewards, especially if you deserve it. For every small goal that you accomplish, give yourself an incentive so you will not look at the whole task only as long-term hard work. Make the entire goal setting every day. Take a time to visualize how your future will look when you finally accomplish every goal that you set for yourself. Use your mind and sensory organs to imagine how everything will look just a few years from now. Picture yourself in the places that you want to visit, hanging out with people that you want to meet, using the things that you desire to purchase. Continue visualizing your future family and social status, the charities that you want to help, and all the other things that you often dream about. Think about how they would look, smell, or even feel when they are in your possession or are part of your reality. A few minutes of this activity every day will keep the excitement in your heart and allow you to experiment. Visualizing how your life looks in the future will also put a smile on your face and make you feel better because you are channeling your energy into something good. Keeping pictures and quotes from people who serve as your inspiration can also keep you on track. Remember when Nelson Mandela said, "Things are only seem impossible until they're done," or how Steve Jobs used cancer as inspiration to experience life and live it to the fullest. You should also surround yourself with images of family members and friends who have consistently been sources of joy and inspiration in your life. Just like you, many accomplished people come from humble beginnings. Study the pictures of inspiration and catalog the strengths and characteristics that you want to emulate from them. There are times when you easily fell down because you're not seeing a lot of progress. When that is the case, let yourself recall all the goals that you have achieved so far and recognize how far you have come. Understanding how you achieve those goals will enable you to let go of your frustrations and remind you to be patient. When your plans still are not working and most of the goals on your to-do list are left unchecked, it's time to tweak your strategies a bit. Examine the results of your plans, then mark the ones that are effective. There are plans that sound good, but do not necessarily yield positive returns. Alter them by applying the effective plans to the goals that need progress. If you are still failing at reigniting what drives you to pursue a certain goal in the first place, maybe it's time to reassess your list and remove the unnecessary desires. Most short-term goals are not necessary and are only pursued on a whim. Realize setbacks are natural, part of the goal-setting process, and recognize a setback as a setback and then move on. Do not turn yourself into a downer just because you failed to accomplish a goal within its target date. Get help from like-minded individuals and stay close to your support system so you can refrain yourself from throwing a pity party. Problems may happen, but recognize there is always room for trial and improvement. Make it a point to prioritize the goals that will help you become successful, and more importantly, focus on the ones that will generally make you happy. One of the first books I read as an adult was Super Self by Charles Givens back in 1994. I then laid out my life blueprint. I started to capture time lost by not cutting the lawn myself or by changing the oil in my car because I hired others to do that for me. One of the most significant things I remember is to put my keys in one spot every time I arrive back home so I do not waste time looking for them. Take time to figure out what your worth is and whether it's worth delegating the tasks that consume your time to someone else who is more passionate about them. You cannot get back your time, but you can always earn more money. Charles was my first mentor and helped me recognize my self-worth. I've invested thousands in mentors and coaches. Just one insight from a mentor can change the course of your life, allowing you to achieve your desires in just 5 to 10 years or shorter. Step 3, accountability. Find a mentor. Accountability means that you are given the responsibility to achieve a goal or finish an assignment. Even if these were your own goals, being accountable to someone else can help you see them through. Of course, you have your own goals. You have your own set of things to do and tasks that are waiting to get done, but you never actually accomplish them. The simple reason is because they are your own chores and aspirations, where no one has held you liable to complete them. What does accountability have to do with your success? Well, you'll not be able to achieve anything without being held accountable. Accountability gives you the feeling of urgency and determination as you clearly know that there are people waiting for you to deliver what you have promised to do. When you are held accountable to a person or a group of people, you immediately want to carry out the task at hand rather than when you set a goal that no one but you knows about. Do you remember the time when you were in school and the teacher announced that you would be having an exam? You crammed and reviewed your lessons like there was no more tomorrows. So you got it done. Or maybe your boss gave you a firm deadline and you completed the task on time because you know your job was on the line. When you achieve something you are supposed to accomplish, or when you fulfill a promise that you're guaranteed someone, you naturally feel good. Unlike when you do not fill your promises and hear comments such as, "You didn't get it done, you failed me, can I ever trust you again?" Statements like those hurt, which is why when you are given a responsibility, you should feel the need to satisfy it in order to avoid feelings of pain and rejection. When people are expected to do something, they follow through. It's just the way it is. However, it's likely no one is expecting anything out of you. People by nature are lazy, so it's likely you have put off these lists of things to do until you forget them. Lethargy begins in the mind and the body follows suit. The good news, however, is that you can instantly boost your accountability by sharing your goals with people you care about and who care about you, such as your spouse, kids, parents, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. You can even announce it on social media platforms for extra accountability. When you are conscious that people are watching you, the stakes become higher. You are no longer doing this all alone, and it's no longer just about you. There are people counting on you and waiting for you, so now you are motivated to perform. People are now paying attention and saying, "Can he do this? Is he really a man or a woman of his own word?" Nobody wants to be known as the person who cannot stand by their word. Nobody wants to be a failure or let others who count on them down. Start fostering and cultivating some form of accountability into your life, and you will see all your wishes and dreams come true. You must find a mentor or a coach. For years, I ran alone, but I soon realized I could only get so far in my business and life by myself. To get to the next level, you must find a coach that is at the level you want to obtain. And if you're making $100,000 per year and want to make $200,000 per year instead, you have to find someone at that level. I also invest in myself by reading books authored by successful people. I sought out mentors who were better than me or who were already at the level of my new goal. Think about it. All successful people have mentors or coaches, including Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, and Peyton Manning, who would not have achieved what they have achieved without a coach and mentor. Step 4, have passion. When you are passionate, you engage, even when you are not getting paid. It's what the deepest part of you loves to do. It's a magical place where time is non-existent. It's a place of happiness and amazement, an obsession of the task at hand. If you have anything to learn in this short and temporary life on earth, it is do not continue doing anything if you do not have the passion for it. It would only be a waste of time. Life is too short to settle for something that does not make you grow or give you joy. Without passion for what you do, you will never be able to live a happy, peaceful, fulfilled, and complete life. This is not to say that you should forego the basic and important things in life like paying the bills, taking care of your kids, doing house chores, or brushing your teeth. These are responsibilities that you have to do not only for yourself but for others. The point is to not go on with your life by settling just for what may be good but is not great. Your greatness is directly linked with your passion. Really, the most exciting opportunities for you to create wealth are very closely linked with your passion. Whether it is writing, painting, cooking, sewing, or even something that involves sports, there's always a multi-million-dollar venture waiting for you to achieve. All you have to do is seize the opportunity. Take time to examine yourself, your values, and your passions, then align them with your daily routine and habits. What are your passions? There's probably a millionaire right now who is doing what you love to do. In this highly advanced internet age, when you could reach the whole world with a few strokes on the keyboard and some clicks of the mouse, anything is possible. In fact, your money is waiting for you right now. All you have to do is provide value in exchange for it. Get a paper and pen and list down your top 3 to 5 passions in life. Ponder on them. These are tools you are going to need to position yourself for profit. I have a passion for people and their success. I work in 2 niches. I have a passion for people and their success and authority marketing. Which requires you to work with people from all walks of life and education levels. In addition, I work with CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs, and highly sought after successful leaders. I have a great passion for people to be the best they can be, and I love to empower people with new thinking and success principles to better their work environment as I help them awaken to realize they can do what they love and make a living at it. I help professionals position themselves as authority by becoming a best-selling author and starting the authority formula. Number 5, persistence. Persistence is your ability to persevere even when there are oppositions, challenges, and obstacles, and discouragements. Have you ever asked yourself how persistent you are? Do you easily give up on things the moment you encounter resistance, or do you hold on and continue doing what you have to do? Most people actually fall into both categories. Whether they stick it out or not is just based on the current situation they are in. However, the important thing is to have the wisdom to know when to quit and the persistence to continue if you have to go on. Persistence is like a muscle, and you need to work it out for it to become strong. In terms of victory and success, persistence is arguably the most powerful trait there is. The most obvious reason is that if you do not continue doing something, then of course you will not succeed at finishing it. The same is true in life. If you are not persistent in pursuing your goals, ambitions, and dreams, then there's no way that you can expect them to come true in your lifetime. The people who ultimately get what they want in life are those who have tried and failed, then tried something new and failed again, then tried something new again until they finally get what they want. The trouble is that when you look at these successful people, you only see who they are now. You are only paying attention to what they have achieved, the status that they possess, the money that they made, the titles, the accolades, and the awards they have accumulated, and you are thinking about how hard it is to reach that position. It is very likely you have overlooked what it took for them to be in that position, what sacrifices they had to give, the amount of failures they endured, and the ridicules of people who never believed in them until they eventually got to where they are. You fail to realize that these people were actually once in the position you are in right now, or perhaps even they were further back than you are. Yet they decided and refused to give up on their dreams. That's very likely the reason why they're where they are right now, and you are not. If you are looking up to someone right now and admiring what they have achieved in their life, chances are they are still envisioning much bigger goals. They are still persisting through a whole new level of oppositions and challenges, and it's because persistence never ends as long as you have a dream and a vision. Persistence is going to be the key to ultimately get you where you want to be. How long should you try? Until. Jim Rohn. Unfortunately, persistence does not come naturally for most people. It's always easier to give up and walk away than to persevere. It is exciting to think about the things that you can achieve in a decade, including all the places you could go and the projects you could accomplish to help other people. Beginning with the end in mind really does help motivate and inspire you to continue pursuing your dreams. But you must take action. Taking action is usually very hard, and it's extremely long, extensive process. Things will get difficult and frustrating, which means you have to be mentally ready for it so you have a long-term view. As in every good endeavor, there will surely be roadblocks up ahead, and it can be easy to lose focus and just throw in the towel and quit. But the fact is, nothing worth having ever comes easy, and achieving worthwhile goals also requires discipline, effort, and persistence. These are things that you should be prepared to have. A good way to view roadblocks is to treat them as stepping stones or training courses. Since your character of persistence is like a muscle, you can actually learn persistence and train yourself to be persistent. It is a skill that can be developed. Being persistent is simply the ability to bounce back from failures and power through challenges and roadblocks that come your way. History has demonstrated that the most notable winners usually encountered heartbreaking obstacles before they triumphed. They won because they refused to become discouraged by their defeats. B.C. Forbes. Some people are simply too hard on themselves, and as a result, they end up sabotaging their own success. They say to themselves, if things don't work out in 2 or 3 attempts, I just give up. This is not helpful in achieving your goals. Instead, what you should say to yourself is, I have persevered since the time I was born, and I have learned many skills and persisted through the obstacles and challenges that were in my way. I can do this and get through this. Even if you have to go back to the first time you learned how to walk and talk. List down all those instances where you have demonstrated persistence and have achieved the results. Right now, you have so many skills that were quietly ingrained in your nature. You did it through the persistence of doing things over and over again until it becomes a part of you and you do not even know it. One example is driving a car. When you were first learning how to do it, you probably much had to muster all your concentration and consciousness as you had to negotiate turns or just learn to use the steering wheel. Now you have become so good at it that sometimes you don't even know how you arrived safely back home. Driving just became second nature, where you do it without much thinking. There are always times when you had a goal and you had to intentionally things to achieve it, like finishing your studies or landing a job promotion or starting a business. But those on the list too. Put those on the list too. Step 1, it's about letting your mind focus on all the times you have persevered so that you will be reminded that you're a persistent person. It is important to train and condition your mind into thinking that you are indeed persistent and that you are going to be like that all the time. Next, make another list of 10 times when you did not successfully reach your goals because you gave up. Perhaps there are times in your life when you had an interest in doing something and then you lost enthusiasm. Maybe that was truly valid because you moved on to something far greater than the first goal. But still, take note and add it to the list. By recording it, you can go back and evaluate what really transpired in that situation. Is there a certain pattern occurring that you can avoid so that you'll not make the same mistake again? Ask yourself, would I have done it differently if I could go back in time? This is a powerful self-assessment question. For example, giving up too easily during a financial hardship. There was a time in my life when I wanted to start a business and there was a thriving market, but I did not have enough capital and no one wanted to invest. I eventually got the funding, but I spent the money on things that were not in the best interest of my startup. You have your own story. The important thing about remembering past mistakes is to learn from the lessons. Many times we commemorate the success and regret the mistakes, but fail to get the lessons that came with it. It's very important to document these lessons, not only because they are practical and proven, but because you do not want to make the same mistakes again and again. You also want to cultivate the things that have been working for you all this time. By having a clear distinction between the two, you can train yourself to be persistent every time you set a goal for yourself. One of the greatest things I have perfected is persistence. I could have never gotten to where I am today without it. There were many times where I could have quit. I learned this from my mother at an early age. She once told me a story about her first job and quit school to support her family. She was underage but went to apply at the Five and Dime store. The manager said no, but she persisted and finally got the job. I was held back in second grade for fighting, which led me to not pay attention in class. I was then transferred to a private school in sixth grade as a result. I then received a football scholarship and lost it, but I kept getting up and moving forward, failure after failure. Get out there and fail quickly. All of your failures are lessons for success. You are born with the fear of falling and loud noise. All other fears are ones you have created. Remember back when you were a kid and you would fearlessly ask for something and your mother and father would say no. What would you do? You kept asking until you got it, right? What's changed? You have become fearful of asking for a sale or going after that promotion. You have become fearful of starting a business or writing your story. Step into what is rightfully yours and claim your authority in life and business. Be bold and be fearless because everything else is in your head. If you are ready to claim your authority, click the button below to claim your authority now.